What's up everyone, Big Dan here, and in this video, we're going to explore 10 of the worst decisions you can make in Dragon's Dogma 2. Number 1. Let a Dragon Plague pawn remain in your party. Dragon's Plague is a new, unique mechanic in Dragon's Dogma 2 that can have catastrophic consequences if left unchecked. Basically, it's a disease only contractable by pawns that will cause them to go sicko mode and slaughter everyone in a given town. The worst part is that it's incurable and undetectable, but there are some warning signs you can use to help spot it. Pawns will start acting defiant and also begin to have glowing red eyes. If you notice these signs, be sure to dismiss these pawns immediately. And if your main pawn starts acting a fool, then chuck them into the brine. Because if you don't, then you will eventually trigger a dastardly cutscene when resting at an inn. I had this happen in my first playthrough and accidentally wiped out the entire town of Vernworth. Man, I'm getting too old for this nonsense. I haven't even had a cup of coffee yet. Y'all know I love my iced coffee since I yap about it in pretty much every video, which is why I'm excited to talk about today's sponsor, AeroPress. I typically spend way too much money buying iced coffee at cafes because the stuff I make at home just never tasted as good or took me way too long to make. I need something quick that doesn't sacrifice taste, which is where AeroPress comes into play. AeroPress is like a French press that makes an even better cup of coffee. Using a patented 3-in-1 brewing technology, AeroPress combines the flavor benefits of espresso, pour-over, and French press into one compact, portable device that you could use at home or on the go. The end result is a completely unique and delicious cup of coffee that is only possible with AeroPress. But don't just take my word for it. With over 55,000 5-star reviews, AeroPress is the best reviewed coffee press on the planet. I have a very hectic schedule, especially around game releases, so it's important for me to get a quick fix of caffeine to keep me going. And AeroPress has been a game changer for me since it's so fast and easy to make a great tasting cup of coffee. So how much does this thing cost, Dan? $300? No shot. The best part is AeroPress is shockingly affordable, less than $50, and I've got an incredible offer for my audience. Visit aeropress.com/BigDan, that's aeropress.com/BigDan, and use the promo code BigDan to save 20% off your order. That's aeropress.com/BigDan, and be sure to use code BigDan at checkout to save 20%. It's time to ditch the drive-thru, toss the French press, and say yes to better mornings fueled by better coffee. AeroPress ships to the USA and over 60 countries around the world, and a big thank you to AeroPress for sponsoring this video. Now, it is possible to come back from this disaster if you manage to get the Eternal Wake Stone by killing the Sphinx, but that is easier said than done. In my second playthrough, the Sphinx actually survived the Unmaking Arrow, which is supposed to kill anything in one hit. I guess the cutscene trigger interrupted her death, but thank God I had a second one in my inventory so I was able to take her down. Number 2. Try to scam Everard with the Jadeite Orb. When you arrive at the Checkpoint Rest Town, you will receive a quest from a Beastren character who is looking to recover a rare gem. He wants to sell it off and start a new life for himself, kinda like Martin Lawrence in Blue Streak. Only problem is his employer, Everard, wants the gem as well, so you have to decide which NPC deserves the item more. Or you could try to get both rewards by creating a forgery at the scrap store, which is conveniently located in the same town. I used this trick in several quests during Dragon's Dogma 1, so I thought I could outsmart these dumbass NPCs again. Only problem is, Everard was wise to my schemes and asked to have the gem authenticated. Man, homeboy not about to get scammed like Lil Baby. It is possible to bribe the scrap store owner, but I didn't have enough gold to pull this off. And at this point, I would have lost more money with the bribe anyhow, so my whole plan came crashing down.
What is the meaning of this, Arisen? Have you the eyes of a drunken ogre, or did you think to deceive me? No matter. I see no reason to lend an ear to your excuses. You there, escort our guest to the jail.
Let my magic imbue your weapon with the fury of the elements. Bitter end breeds no satisfaction.
So if you want to get both quest rewards, be sure to give the real jade to Everard and slip the fake one to the cat person. Number 3, expose Albert's infidelity. One of the first side quests you can receive in the capital is to spy on a storyteller begging for change on the street. Man, this guy could have been a Twitch streamer in our timeline. After a long investigation, which involves a lot of waiting around in the slums tavern, stealing Albert's clothes from his house, and following him to the Noble District, we come to discover that Homeboy is actually living a double life with 2 wives. Nice, dude! He's got his poor cat wife in the slums district, and his rich wife in the Noble Quarter. At this point, we have 3 options for how to proceed. We can turn over the clothes to Albert and let him keep on keeping on, you know, bro code style. We can also give the clothes to his rich wife, which also keeps up the ruse. Or we can make the most cursed decision and rat him out to his cat wife.
What? You mean to say my Albert's a noble and has only been pretending to be a beggar? That can't be true. Earning a living in the slums isn't easy, but Albert and I, we promised each other we'd try our hardest to make ends meet. We've been working toward that all this time. And you're saying 'tis all a lie? I don't want to believe such madness, but nor can I deny that these garments are my husband's. Pray, tell me where you found them. I must see this for myself.
In this case, not only do you get a cursed reward, but the cat lady is so upset that she ends up taking out Albert and herself.
Beg pardon, sir, but have you any information about what happened here? A couple were found dead, you see. Poor Albert was stabbed from behind, and Selena, by all appearances, ended her own life after killing him. I can't fathom it. I knew the both of them, and I cannot imagine Selena doing such a thing, let alone to her dear husband. One witness claims Selena was turned away from a noble's estate shortly before the incident. But how could that possibly have led to aught so gruesome as this?
You know what they say, there's no wrath like a woman scorned, and that applies to cat women as well, apparently. Number 4, let the Cat Empress get assassinated. One of the first side quests you can complete in Batal involves dealing with a threat on Empress Nadinia's life. Her bodyguard Manella will ask you to help ID the assassin. You only have a handful of clues to go off of, and if you pick the wrong person or wait too long, then things go sideways very quickly.
The Empress's supplications have concluded without incident. I shall return to Her Majesty's side. May this peace only continue. No! Your Majesty! How could this have happened? We must staunch the bleeding and capture the fiend who did this. Forgive me, Your Majesty. I have failed you.
Number 5, give Isaac the Grimoire. In Batal, you will meet a shopkeeper who asks you to recover a grimoire for him. He hopes to perform some black magic to help turn his family's fortunes around, even if he has to lose an eye in the process. Boy, you've been messing with those dark arts. To get the good ending to the quest, you need to make a forgery of the grimoire and give Isaac the fake copy. This will allow him to realize the error of his ways and set about a better path for his family. Or you could just give him the real book and see what happens next.
Father, you don't need to do this. I'm happy with our life as 'tis now.
'Tis good to hear you say that, my daughter. But I've come too far. I must see this through. I believe I need only... Ha! I did it! I did it! Now, what do we have here? 'Tis sand. Sanders could be found anywhere. I suppose 'twas foolish to hope that our fortunes could be turned so easily. Well, I've learned my lesson. No more of this Grimoire nonsense for me. I'll settle for being a humble apothecary after all. If you'll still have me, my dears. My dears? Esmeralda. Raelia. Where could they have gone? This is my daughter's. And here's my wife's wedding ring. Why would they be buried here in the sand? Unless... Nay, it couldn't be. My wife and daughter vanished for this? Piles of sand? No, of course not. Their patience with me simply ran thin. They run off somewhere, that's all. I'm sure of it. I'll just have to find them. Come back, my dears! I was a fool!
To think this was the conclusion that awaited us. It seems we were wrong to indulge Sir Isaac after all.
'Tis a most unfortunate turn of events.
Oh no!
Even worse than Isaac's fate is the Arisen's realization that this cuts us off from a vendor for the rest of the game. And I'm pretty sure this is the only guy in the cat capital who sells fairy stones. So I hope you like walking.
Oh no!
Number 6, don't rescue Rodge. Another vendor who asks for our help is the apothecary in the Checkpoint Rest Town. His nephew was kidnapped by wolves, what a bizarre storyline by the way, and he asks us to help rescue the boy. There is a time limit on this quest, however, so if you don't complete it in time, you'll find nothing but a pile of rags and have to break the bad news to the shopkeep.
What's this? No. Pray let it not be true. Rodge! Oh, Rodge! I ought to thank you for trying to find the boy. Here, 'tis not much, but I would give you this. Gah! Rodge! Oh, my poor boy!
This experience has left scars that shan't soon fade.
'Twas a lesson hard learned, but a lesson all the same.
Right you are.
Might as well take a look while you're here, eh?
Unlike that bitch-ass Isaac, at least this apothecary keeps his shop open. Sorry about your loss. Let me buy a fairy stone to help out with the funeral costs. Number 7, don't rescue Gregor. Remember that dude who took us to the capital at the beginning of the game? Well, some rich dude wants to bang his wife, so he sends Gregor on a mission that will certainly get him killed. Gregor's wife, realizing that her husband is in danger, asks us to go and rescue him in another time-limited quest. If we fail to reach the Misty Marches in time, then Gregor gets ganked by a Doulahan. Hilariously, one of his underlings is an absolute tank. I stood here for like 5 minutes, and this dude just absorbed hit after hit. Sadly, Gregor was not so hardy.
Who are you? Were you sent here to aid us? Would that you had gotten here sooner. The Watchhead, he's gone. I'll mourn Sir Gregor. He was a good man.
No. No! Not my Gregor! Oh, my love. How could this have happened? I know the fault here lies not with you, Sir Arisen. You are not to blame. You have my gratitude, Sir Arisen, for informing me of this. I beg your pardon, but I imagine this shall be our last meeting. Farewell.
The Doulahan made for a most fearsome foe. 'Tis a grave shame we could not protect Sir Gregor from its wrath.
When you return and give the bad news to Margit, Homegirl ends up joining a convent.
What are you here for? Eh? If you're looking for the lady of the house, she's gone. Ran off to join some abbey or other. Poor lass. She put on a brave face, but we all knew her heart was split in twain the moment she heard of Gregor's passing. I've rarely seen a couple so smitten with one another. Right pair of lovebirds they were. Heavens! Why do such dreadful things befall the most decent of folk?
Number 8, Sebastian's Last Trip. In Vernworth, we can receive a quest from a rich kid named Sebastian who asks us to help him pull the old bait and switch on his dear old mum so he can run off to Melv and buy her a gift. He basically asks us to recruit a body double, and since he's relatively androgynous looking, we can recruit Daphne to help out with the cause. But before he sets out on his journey, he needs to prepare some items for the road. There you go, buddy. Have some rotten meat.
My thanks. I'm certain these will come in useful. Now, I really must be going. Wish me luck.
Take care, young master.
Hilariously, if you give Sebastian crappy items, then he will get into a bit of trouble on his journey, with the family maid asking us to rescue him. There is also a timer on this part of the quest, and you get the idea by this point. He'll probably be okay, right?
If you're wondering about Sebastian, well, they found him, but a little too late. He's gone. Now everyone says this is my home. Even Sikandric. This is how it has to be, he told me. And I can't call myself Daphne anymore either. I have to say my name's Sebastian. I don't know what to think. My life's gone all topsy-turvy.
'Tis an outcome we could not have foreseen. But my heart aches for the disservice we have done Miss Daphne. 'Tis loathsome, being the bearer of such ill tidings.
Number 9, skip Ulrika's quest. Ulrika is best girl, and while her side quest is kind of a pain in the ass, given all the running back and forth between Harv and Melv, it turns out that skipping it has some dire consequences. For starters, Harv's cat-hating village chief is never replaced as the town leader, and at the end of the Scaly Invaders questline, he banishes all the Beastren from the village. And finally, the people of Melv never relocate to Harv, so they presumably all perish when Melv gets obliterated in the postgame. A sorry fate for the woman who saved our life. And finally we have number 10, the bad ending to Dragon's Dogma 2. At the end of the Legacy quest, we confront the big bad dragon Gregor, who presents us with a choice. Go back to our old life and sacrifice our beloved, or fight him. Hey bro, I just got some random Beastren lady as my beloved, so I have no attachment to her. I only maxed her out so I could get the Plenty Arisen to Go Around achievement, which is hilarious by the way. If you put 2 max affinity characters into your house, they'll start fist fighting each other.
Trust in yourself as I trust in you!
But I digress. Walking away from Gregor in this scene leads to the bad ending of Dragon's Dogma 2.
Thy choice is made. Return to thy kingdom. The world thou desired awaiteth thee there. A hollow world, if a restful one.
So there you have it, the 10 most cursed decisions in Dragon's Dogma 2. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. Oh no!